Hi everybody, just getting tuned in. You're very welcome to our Friday afternoon evening quiz for quizzers quiz. You're all very welcome. For those of you tuning in wherever you are, you're very welcome. I hope you're all doing okay. It's Friday evening, afternoon, depending on your time zone. And hello to everybody on Facebook Live, YouTube, and on our own website. You're very welcome. For those of you tuning in for the first time, you're especially welcome. So, how are you all doing? Hey, Rhonda, James, Elaine, Adrian, Kevin, Isabel, Ursula, Joe. Hey, Paul. Hey, Barking Mad. It's the weekend again. I was trying to figure out, I think this is week 48. I think it's week 48. Where does time go when you're having a laugh? Anyway, so we do two quizzes, as you all know. We do our Friday, which is Quizzy Quiz, and Saturday we do Party Quiz. So Saturday, the best seats are always on the website. Hey, Margaret. Friday, we're safe just about anywhere. Why, you say? Well, I think you all know the answer. On Saturdays, we do tunes, and now, as of last week, we've taken it to a new level with clips. Hey, Douglas Clan. So, the good thing about this is we can forget about stuff. Where does time go when you're locked down? I know, Henry. The good thing about this is we've got our own little but burgeoning community. So thank you all. We're up to 574 YouTube subscribers. So thank you. Thank you. 574. I want to get to 1,000. Told you that. You've been very good. And keep donating to this project and to our charities. Yep, even if it's just a couple of quid now and again, it just helps keep the whole thing going, if that makes sense. So Friday evening is our Quizzy Quiz. So what have I got in store for you this evening? We do things in bunches of 3, but you know that. Don't know why, but it seems to work. We've got 3 what or which other. 3 famous bands, 3 famous horses, and 3 famous games. But there's 13 points available because there's 4 points in the old 3 bands. But we'll come on to that. And then on a Friday evening, you've got a, hey Sev, hey Billy and Connor, you've got a full course of handmade connections. And then we've got some pictures. No moving images, they're for tomorrow evening. Hey Morris, we've got 14 images, but 14 famous partners. So there's 28 points available in your picture round. Famous partners. And then in round 4, we do some mashed up cities. I'll come on to that. Mashed up cities. What's he talking about? You'll soon find out. Then we've got 3 by 3. Thank you, Jenny, for subscribing to YouTube. You see, just subscribe as we go if you haven't already. 3 letter acronyms, then 3 famous armies, and 3 animals appearing in brands. We've got a monster mash, 65 points available this evening. Hello, Jenny and the Alexander crew in Antrim. Lovely to have you. Great. So, 65 points. That's a whopper this evening. A whopper this evening. Thanks, Stephen. Liking and sharing. And we've got interest in our project further afield, but just keep it going. You never know. And the Alban Saints, Dean and Dave. Hey, Dean and Dave. So, are we all set? Pens, papers, no Googling, but you don't need to do that. And the golden rule, if you get all excited, it's down there in our little frame, no answers on the feet. That's simple. Other than that, just confer with your nearest and dearest, with or without you, and we'll get going, shall we? So we said we were going to do 3 what or which is missing. Hey Colin, okay, let's get cracking, shall we? It's a good, balanced, quizzy quiz. There's a few banana skins. Is there any million pointers? Well, let's see. So, what or which is missing number 1? Rio de Janeiro, and which other city, beginning with R, have hosted the Summer Olympics? So, Summer Olympic host cities, I've given you Rio de Janeiro. Which other city has hosted the Summer Olympics beginning with the letter R? R for Rio. So, there you go. There's your first one. I'll be quiet. I've been told to. Hey, Paul, Stephen, Andrea, Kirsty. Hi. So, Summer Olympic host cities other than Rio beginning with the initial R. Is your first what or which is missing? What or which other, number 2? Aside of Texas, which other US state begins with the initial T? Aside of Texas. Isabel, right up your street, or state? Which other state other than Texas begins with the initial T? And your which other? Number 3. Since Winston Churchill, there have been 2 British PMs, Prime Ministers, whose surname begins with the initial C. I give you David Cameron, but the other British Prime Minister since Churchill, surname beginning with the initial C, is your famous which other, number 3. Hey Bob, hey Ivan. Good turnout this evening. And don't worry if you're late tuning in. Hey Jane and Dennis. 3 famous bands. 4, 5 and 6. 3 famous bands. Famous band number 1. Famous band number 1. Designed by Augustus Pugin, and completed in 1859 in the clock tower at the north end of the Palace of Westminster. Is your famous band number 1. It was designed by Augustus Pugin and completed in 1859 in the clock tower at the north end of the Palace of Westminster. Is your famous band number 1. Hello, the Lennons. Thanks for coming on to our website. Fab. Best place on a Saturday is the old website, as everybody knows. The clock tower, the Palace of Westminster. Famous band number 1. Hey Reese. Famous band number 2. One of the founding fathers of the United States, born 1706, a scientist and inventor, amongst many other things, is your famous Ben, number 2, one of the founding fathers of the US, born 1706. A scientist, inventor, amongst other things, is your famous Ben, number 2. I said there was 4 points in the old Bens. That's because Ben number 3, there's 2 points available. So, I'll tell you a little bit more about famous Ben number 3, shall I? Famous Ben number 3. He was, at one stage, the world's fastest man, Benjamin Sinclair Johnson. He was stripped, however, of his Olympic gold whilst representing which country, for 1 point, and at which Olympic Games, for point number 2, is your famous Ben number 3, Benjamin Sinclair Johnson, stripped of his Olympic gold, the nation he was representing, and the Games. Hey Cora, the Thunderbroads are here in Dublin, Rome, Longford and DC. Fantastic. Comfortably done's obviously watching the Wolves game. Tut. Imagine. Wolves versus Leeds over this. Flip. Let's check the score. Those are your 3 famous Bens. Benjamin Sinclair Johnson, the nation he was representing while he was stripped of his Olympic gold, and the Games. Year, city, yeah, I'll accept either. I would guess if you know one, you know the other. For 2 points is Benjamin Sinclair Johnson. I'm going to get a desk that's level because I have to look up at screens and down at screens. So I'm going to get everything on a level playing desk, as they say. Famous horses. 7, 8 and 9, 3 very famous horses. Famous horse number 1. Famous horse number 1. The rider with the white feller, originally, please give me the name of the rider associated with the white feller, called that originally, and eventually it was named Scout, is your famous horse number 1. White feller evolving into Scout. I'm looking for the rider in your famous horse number 1. Scout, you'll know that name. White feller, probably not. The rider, please. Famous horse number 2, with which military leader and political leader do you associate the famous horse Marengo? Marengo. Marengo. Famous horse Marengo. But the military leader, political leader associated with this famous horse, Marengo, is your famous horse number 2. And at the end of each round, you just pop up your team name on our various feeds, how well you're doing, where you're from, yeah, and the temperature, please. Not your temperature, the place temperature. Famous horse number 3. A famous champion thoroughbred. A famous champion thoroughbred. The film adaptation was nominated for Best Picture in 2003. Is your famous horse number 3. A famous champion thoroughbred. The film adaptation was nominated for Best Picture in 2003. Is your famous horse number 3. If you're tuning in for the first time, hi Phoebe. Everything's famous here. Okie dokie. 10, 11 and 12. 3 famous games. So we've done which or what other, bands, horses, and now games. A bit of diversity. 3 famous games. Famous game number 1. In the game of chess, you've got 2 rooks, you've got 2 bishops, and 2 what? In the game of chess, your famous game number 1, you've got 2 rooks, 2 bishops, and 2 what? Famous game. Question number 1. Two rooks, 2 bishops, 2 what? Famous game number 2. Forgive me, pay attention, a bit of one of my rather long-winded one. I'll give you the description. We're looking for the game. So you've filled the 9 by 9 grid with digits so that each column row, and each of the 9 3 by 3 subgrids that compose the grid contain all of the digits 1 through 9. Is your famous game originally called Number Place, believe it or not. So Number Place, original name, but let's describe it once again. You fill a 9 by 9 grid with digits so that each column, row, and each of the 9 3 by 3 subgrids that complete the grid contain all of the digits 1 through 9. Is your famous long-winded game number 2? And your final famous game in round 1. The original game encompasses 3 cities: Liberty City, San Andreas, and Vice City. This is the 4th highest selling video game franchise behind the top 3 of Mario, Pokemon, and Tetris. Give me the 4th most successful video game in terms of sales. Description: original game, 3 cities: Liberty City, San Andreas, and Vice City. Is your famous game number 3? The 4th most successful video franchise after Mario, Pokemon, and Tetris. Famous game number 3. Okay, good. Isabel, your favourite. Let's recap on round 1 questions. So there's in writing, your questions to round 1. Which other or what other? Rio and which other city beginning with the initial R have hosted the Summer Olympics? Aside of Texas, which other US state begins with the initial T? Since and subsequent to Winston Churchill, there have been 2 prime ministers whose surname begins with the initial C. I give you David Cameron, but which other? Then your bands, your clock tower, the north end of the Palace of Westminster, one of the founding fathers of the US, born 1706, a scientist, an inventor, and many other things. Famous Ben number 2, famous Ben number 3, The world's fastest man, full name Benjamin Sinclair Johnson, stripped of gold at the Summer Olympics. Where and which nation was he representing? So there's 2 points there. I'm looking for the rider in your famous horse number 1. Associated originally with the White Feller, originally, and then eventually and more famously Scout. With which military and political leader do you associate Marengo and your famous champion thoroughbred? There was a film adaptation and it was nominated for Best Picture in '03. Thanks, Jerry. Yes, grandson number 6. And baby Jacob is home and well. Thank you, Jerry. Famous games. Chess, you have, thanks Bark and Mad, you have 2 rooks, 2 bishops and 2 what? Fill the 9x9 grid with digits so that each column, row and each of the 9 3x3 subgrids that compose the grid contain the digits 1 through 9. And your final famous games, thanks David. The original game encompasses 3 cities called Liberty City, San Andreas and Vice City. This is the 4th highest selling video game franchise ever, behind the top 3, if it helps, of Mario, Pokemon and Tetris. So tidy up your first round. Because of the 2 points for Ben number 3, there's 13 points available in your round 1. So tidy up round 1 as we get all settled in for a full course of connections. Okay, give you a few more moments to confer, argue, fight. A nice, gentle easing into your quizzy weekend. Okay. Your answers to round 1. How'd you get on? Confident? And publish your scores out of 13 when you get a chance with your team name and where you're from. And your temperature. Not yours. Personally. Your place. Here's your answers. Good luck. Okay, so your other Olympic host city was Rome, 1960. If you're interested, other than Texas, it was Tennessee. Other than David Cameron, it was Jim Callahan or James Callahan. Big Ben, Benjamin Franklin, famous Ben number 2. And Ben Johnson was representing Canada and he was stripped of his gold in Seoul Olympics. Happy with that. If you give me 1988, happy with that. Tonto, Scout and White Feller, Napoleon I or Napoleon Bonaparte, and Seabiscuit are your 3 famous horses. We have 2 knights other than 2 rooks and 2 bishops. Sudoku. Isabel, your favourite game. Good off to a flyer, Marty. And Grand Theft Auto. So out of 15, hi Sam. Out of 15, what am I talking about? I can't even count. Out of 13, publish your scores. Welcome, Sam. Houston, no problem. El Paso Duo. Everybody is, yep. Well done, lockdown haircuts. Pete, welcome back. 12 out of 13. Keep posting those team scores. Eurowalls on 13. Carnegie Collective on 11. Cashies in the doll. Cashies on the doll. 12. Jerzo. 11. Chickpeas 13. Bark and Mad 12. Paul, excellent 10. Anything over 1 is fantastic. The Lennon's on 10. And Finn's full. Thanks, Edwina, on 13. And you're very generous, Edwina. Thank you. Keep those scores and your team names coming in on all channels. And I know a lot of people are watching on many channels, which is also totally fine. 2 of a kind. Cool Rain 11. Good evening on 11. Billy and Connor in the cave on 11. A nice steady start. We'll not get too excited, shall we? Okay, round 2. Connections. Connections are popular. Hey Bernie, 13 out of 13 from the Stellars. Una, good to see you. Well, you can see me. Been thinking about you, Una. And good scoring, Rhonda and the Waltons on 12. Rusty Nails, 12. Stellars on lucky 13. Excellent scoring, guys. Good start. Kaiser's Crew on 13. So, we'll keep the scores coming in, but we'll keep the show moving on. 12 connections. You get 3 bits of information. You join the dots and you figure out what connects. What connects? What connects someone from Gdansk? Gdansk. 90 degrees north or south, and your front row at a racing event is your what connects. Number 1, someone from Gdansk, 90 degrees north or south, and your front row at a racing event is your what connects. Number 1. Comfortably dumb isn't so comfortable. Get well soon, Paddy. I thought it was Leeds. Leeds v Wolves. Get well soon, Paddy. Thanks for your personal message. You see, we all trust each other here, isn't it wonderful? So there's your someone from Gdansk, 90 degrees north or south, and front row at a racing event. What connects number 2? What connects a low-growing woody vegetation with a former Tory Prime Minister with the movies Brokeback Mountain and The Dark Knight is your what connects number 2? Low-growing woody vegetation, a former Tory Prime Minister, Brokeback Mountain and The Dark Knight is your what connects number 2. Well done, Deborah. Kaiser's Chiefs on 13. The Alban Saints, Edine and Dave just closely behind. Shamrock Solitude, 12 out of 13. Phoebe, excellent, 11. Isabel, who has scored 73 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius. That is superb scoring, Isabel. Superb. Vanessa. Oh, flip. Do you know, I was supposed to do something. Happy birthday, Kathleen McLachlan. Happy birthday, Kathleen. I almost forgot. I'm so sorry. Happy birthday from everybody at the kitchen. You see, hard to remember everything, but I should have remembered. Happy birthday, Kathleen. I hope you're having a great day and everybody's spoiling you rotten, Kathleen. Vanessa, Jordanstown, good scoring, 10 degrees Celsius and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Kathleen, 12 out of 13. You're having a really good birthday. Well, yeah, maybe you're behaving too well. You're 12 out of 13. Belated happy birthday. Sorry, Kieran. What connects number 3? What connects material used for paper, a Sheffield 90s rock band, and a 1994 Quentin Tarantino movie? So, a 94 Tarantino movie, a 90s rock band from Sheffield, and the material used to produce paper is your what connects number 3. Reese, get well soon. Reese, I hope you're okay. Get well soon. Vanessa, hot, hot, hot inside. Kieran, I hope you've forgiven me. I'd it all written down, but not in the right place. Happy birthday, Kathleen. Yeah, but I needed a bit of prompting. I'm cross with myself. Anyway. What connects number 4? What connects a type of association? A type of association. A blunt force weapon with a sandwich. Flip. What connects a sandwich with a blunt force weapon with a type of association is your rather obtuse connection. Well, they all are. Number 4. Tomorrow evening we hope to continue the old clips. Yep, it was good last week. So we've lots of opportunity with moving images now. No excuses, Vincent. You wanted it, you got it. You better deliver. Pressure, pressure. What connects number 5? What connects a pirate radio station? A pirate radio station with the first woman from a Scandinavian country to hold the top ranking position in ladies tennis. Flip. With Neil Diamond, good times never seemed so good. So Neil Diamond, good times never seemed so good. With the first woman from a Scandinavian country to top, the rankings, the ATP number 1 thing, ladies tennis, with a pirate radio station is your what connects number 5. Got those? Your pirate radio station? The first woman from a Scandinavian country to hold top ranking numero uno position in ATP ladies number 1. And Neil Diamond, good times never seemed so good. What connects number 6? Yeah, tricky. But you're good at the old connections now. What connects the first enduring English colony, in North America, with an English writer considered one of the most important modernist 20th century authors? More tennis. With the only British woman in tennis history to have won titles at all 4 majors. Bit of tennis connections tonight. So the only British woman in tennis history to have won titles at all 4 majors. Your English writer, considered to be one of the most important modernist 20th century authors, with the first enduring English colony in North America, is your tricky what connects number 6. Hope Reese is okay, Jerry. First enduring English colony, North America. English writer, considered one of the most important modernist 20th century authors, and the only British woman in tennis history to have won titles at all 4 majors. Number 7. What connects? Like this. What connects an American blues musician with a rugby position, with a CBS police drama program of the 1980s? Wow. So, you're an American blues musician, a rugby position, with a CBS police drama of the 1980s is your difficult, tricky, what connects number 7. very sad. Actually, I've started to dream about connections. That'd be a good connection. Obsessed or what? What connects number 8? 20th Century Studios, a small to medium-sized omnivorous mammal, with Back to the Future. So what connects Back to the Future with a small to medium-sized omnivorous mammal with 20th Century Studios? Is your what connects number 8? Excuse me. Getting through them rightly. What connects number 9? Highest point scorer in Test match rugby, the highest point scorer in Test match rugby, with The Wings of the Dove and the King's Speech, with an The Wings of the Dove and the King's Speech, an English actress, with the highest point scorer in Test match rugby, with an English archaeologist. So your English archaeologist, your English actress, The Wings of the Dove and the King's Speech, with the highest point scorer ever in Test match rugby, is your what connects number 9. Connection 10. What connects? What connects a postal code with a clothing fastener with a file format? A file format, a clothing fastener, a postal code. What connects? Number 10. Your penultimate connection, as David Coleman said, but one. What connects a 2017 computer animated movie with Alonso's son in The Tempest with a Premier League footballing family, 2 brothers and 1 cousin? Premier League footballing family, 2 brothers, 1 cousin, with Alonso's son in The Tempest, with a 2017 computer animated movie, is your what connects number 11. And your final connection. What connects the co-founder of Google, a young male servant, with a leaf of paper? A leaf of paper, a young male servant with Google's co-founder. Okay, so let's put them all up in writing. Your connections, 12 of them, but you know that. Good luck. Here's a recap. Just take your time as you figure out your Gdansk, 90 degrees north or south, your racing grid front row, your low-growing woody vegetation, former Tory PM, the movies Brokeback Mountain and The Dark Knight. Material for paper, a Sheffield 90s rock band with a 94 Tarantino movie, a type of association, a blunt force instrument, and a sandwich. Your pirate radio station, the first woman from a Scandinavian country to host a top ranking, or to hold a top ranking position. Neil Diamond, good times never seemed so good. Your first enduring English colony in North America, your English writer, who's considered one of the most important 20th century authors, the only British women tennis player in history to have won titles at all four majors, an American blues musician, a rugby physician, and a CBS 80s police drama series, 20th Century Studios, a small to medium-sized omnivorous mammal, and Back to the Future. Your highest point scorer ever in Test match rugby, The Wings of the Dove and The King's Speech, with an English archaeologist, your postal code, clothing fastener, and a file format. What connects a 2017 computer animated movie with Alonso's son in The Tempest, a Premier League footballing family, think two brothers and a cousin, and the co-founder of Google, and a young male servant with a leaf of paper. 12 points available will give you aggregate 25. 13 plus 12. Yeah, I'm right. Here's your answers. Good luck. So, pole position, North Pole, South Pole, somebody from Gdansk, Heath, as in Hampstead, as in Ted, as in Heath Ledger, Pulp, as in the band, as in Pulp Fiction, Club, Sandwich, Club, Radio Caroline, Caroline Wozniacki from Denmark, Sweet Caroline, Caroline, Virginia, US, Virginia Wade, Virginia Woolf, Virginia, John Lee Hooker, Hooker Rugby, TJ, I once played that position by mistake, never again. TJ Hooker, that was a couple of years back. Think William Shatner. 20th Century Fox, Michael J. Fox, your Fox, Dan Carter, Helena Bonham Carter, Howard Carter, Carter zip code, zip file, zip fastener, Ferdinand, the cartoon movie, I know that with grandchildren, Ferdinand, Alonso's son, and Ferdinand, as in Les, Rio, and Anton. Larry Page, Sergey's partner, Page, as in Page Boy, as in your piece of paper. So out of 25, keep those scores coming in. You're flying through. You're getting good at the connections. Kaiser's Crew, 25. Douglas Clan, 25. Lockdown Haircuts, 25. Bark and Matt, 23. Chickpeas, 25. Lennon's, 21. El Paso Duo, 20. You're flying. You're absolutely flying. Great scoring, guys. Out of 25, keep them coming in. The Waltons on Facebook on 24. Well done, everybody. Keep them coming in. Donnelly's maxing out. I can't cover everybody. Isn't that a good thing? I do my best. Frogs on 21 in the cave. Now we've got 14 images, 14 famous partners. So there's 28 points available in our monster scoring quiz for Quizzers Quiz. Some of the most famous partners of all time are coming right up. Famous partners. Obviously, there's two of them. 14 by 2, 28. Good luck, guys. Famous partnership, number 1. Who are these guys? Good to have you on board on 20. Good scoring. Famous partners. They're all famous. We don't do obscure here. Who are these guys? Famous partnership, number 2. Famous partners. Do that again. Famous partners. Real names. sorry, sorry. The first, I should have been clear. So the first partnership, stage names. Second partnership, well, their real names. Thank you for correcting me. I'll go through them with exactly what I need. So, number one, stage names. Thank you, from the show. The characters. Two, the real people. And number three, characters, stage names. Thank you for correcting me, keeping me on track. Number three, characters, please. Characters. Not real names, characters. Number three. Famous partnership. I think real stage is one and the same thing. Is your famous partnership. But do you remember these guys? Number four, Tricky. Do you remember them? Again, one and the same. Your characters. Famous partnership of 14, number five. Famous partners, number six. No discrepancies here. Famous partnership. Good luck. Number seven, the real McCoy. Who are these guys? Tricky. Quizzy. Number seven. Interesting partnership. Interesting partnership. Number eight. Who are these two guys? Okay. Characters. Number 9. Characters. They're playing. So not the actors, but the characters these guys are playing is your famous partnership. Number 9. Characters. Who are they playing? Famous partnership. Number 10. Well, self-explanatory, I think. Characters. Good luck. Number 10. Four to go. Partners. Characters. 11. Characters. Now we're going back in time. A few oldies, but famous partnerships. Younger days is your famous partnership of 14, 12. Who are these guys? And bit of self-indulgence. My last trip away last February. Famous partnership number 13. And your final famous partners. Doesn't get any more famous than this. Who's this? Okay, guys. Well, let's quick fly through stage names. They are who they are. Famous partnership 2. Characters 3. 4. Just to help you tidy up. Characters 5. 6. These guys, tricky, doable. Think about it. 7. Famous partnership number 8. Characters, stage names, 9. Ten. Partners, 11. 12. And sorry, a bit self-indulgence from 13 and 14. Okay, so how did you get on in the famous partners? Because there's 28 points up for grabs, obviously, 14 by 2. So let's find out, shall we? Let's find out. These quizzes are getting longer. Not as long as last week. We're good, but let's keep zipping, fastening, postal coding along. Here's your partners. So, did you get James T. Kirk and Spock? You obviously got Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, Harry Potter and Ron Weasley. Did you remember Statler and Waldorf from The Muppets? RTD2 and C3PO, Star Wars, Barbie and Ken. Did you get Rogers and Hammerstein? Well done if you did. Ginger McCain and Red Rum. You recognised Red Rum, I know you did. Hansel and Gretel, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, Dumb and Dumber, Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice when they were younger, Simon and Garfunkel, It's the Way I See Them even today, and Punch and Judy. Your famous partners. 28 points available. How did you get on? That would take you up to a massive 53. Yep. Yeah, 53 with 12 to go. Sandbaggers already have maxed out. Flip. I'm either pitching this too easy or you just guys are just getting smarter and smarter. Great scoring, guys. Great scoring. Whether you find it too hard or too easy, the whole point is, are you having fun? Is this a good idea? Hopefully. Anyway, great scoring, guys. Your final round. Let's move into your final round. Great scoring, Paul, Phoebe, Barking Mad, Home Aloners, Kaiser's and the Doll, Solitude, Shamrock, Cuz, Kaiser's Crew. You're all... yes, sir. Maybe need to pitch it a little bit. Missed Rogers and Hammerstein. Totally get that, why that would be possible. Don't beat yourself up, Marty. You'll be fine. Okay, your final round in tonight's quiz. 12 points available. So your first 3. And remember, let's do a promo for tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening is our party quiz. James Eurowall's excellent on 47. Keep them coming in. Connor, Billy, 49. 18 and Dave. It's good. It's the taking part that counts. Tomorrow evening, party quiz, movie clips, music clips, everything that I could... It's good. Best place to watch this tomorrow night is definitely not on Facebook. Maybe YouTube. They'll survive. They won't archive it. They'll survive. Facebook will do neither. They'll cut me off as soon as I play anything remotely to do with copyright. That's why we've got our website with our own licenses. So anyway, so party quiz tomorrow evening, same place, your place. Same time, this time. Your final round. Well done, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing to YouTube. Keep those subscriptions growing because that can lead us to Nirvana. Jenny, Alexander Crew, great scoring. Yeah, subscribe, donate, yeah, share, like, whatever, if you think this is good. 48 weeks on. Okay, mashed up cities. Okay, I'll give you an example. So an example would be, that's that really tall guy that does this mashed up, which I think is quite interesting. Tomorrow night we hope to do back to the... Billy, what were you telling me to do? I should do the... catchphrase, say what you see. We've got 3 of those tomorrow night. Mashed up cities. So I'll give you an example. So capital of Romania, and then, so that's part 1, and then dinner serving establishment. So capital of Romania, Bucharest, dinner serving establishment. So the answer is Bucharestaurant. You get it? So the end of the first part becomes the first part of the second part. But you know what I'm talking about. So capital of Romania, this is your example, Bucharest, and dinner serving establishment is restaurant. So Bucharestaurant is your mashed up cities, number 1. Okay, mashed up cities, no, that was an example. Mashed up cities, number 1. The largest city in Pakistan is part 1. Part 2 is poultry. So largest city in Pakistan is part 1, and poultry is part 2. So you get the largest city in Pakistan. The second part of that becomes the first part of poultry, or the equivalent. Bernie, it's not a miracle. Not a miracle. The Lennon's 47, Cora 50, David doing very well on 49, Chickpeas 46, Lennon's closely behind. It's good. It's good. Well done, 18 and Dave. You're okay. Largest city in Pakistan. Figure that out. So the second part of that word becomes the first part of poultry. As in the example I gave you, Bucharestaurant. Mashed up city number 2, the largest city on the Nile, part 1, part 2, an android. So the largest city on the Nile, the second part of that becomes the first part of an android. Tricky enough. True Grit on 50, El Paso Duo, I've already said that, 51. Houston, no problem, maxed out on 53. And your mashed up city number 3, the capital of Hungary, part 1. Part 2, Italian sauce of basil and pesto. So, capital of Hungary, Italian sauce of basil and pesto. So, capital of Hungary, the second part of that becomes, yeah, you got that. So, largest city in Pakistan, poultry. Largest city on the Nile, android. Capital of Hungary, Italian sauce of basil and pesto. The second part of the first part becomes the first part of the second part. Capital of Hungary, largest city on the Nile, android. Largest city in Pakistan and poultry. Okay, but sure yours are. No, Henry. No. You have to mash the two together. It's all good. Let's move on to something a little bit more straightforward. 3-letter acronyms. So 3 famous letter acronyms. Acronym with 3 letters. Number 1, Professional Ice Hockey League in North America is your three-letter acronym number one. Professional Ice Hockey League in North America, three-letter acronym number one. You okay, Henry? You okay with that? With the old mashed up cities? Professional Ice Hockey League in North America is your first acronym with three letters, number one. Three-letter acronym number two, a Western Asian country on the Arabian Peninsula is your three-letter acronym number two, a Western Asian country on the Arabian Peninsula. Three-letter acronym number two. Flip, it's hard enough figuring out the answers, and I don't blame you. You're figuring out the questions. It's good. Is that good? I think I've helped a little bit with the, yeah. Anyway, I'm that sort of guy, Henry. Plus, I made a mistake. And your three-letter acronym number three, a Soviet Union security agency from 1954 until 1991, is your three-letter acronym number three. Your Soviet Union security agency from 54 to 91. I did. I screwed up with the old capital of Hungary, but sure. I'm not perfect. So your Professional Ice Hockey League in North America, your Western Asian country in the Arabian Peninsula, and a Soviet Union security agency from 54 to 91 are your 3-by-3 letter acronyms. Your third and penultimate bunch of three in round four, or final round, famous armies from the clues. Famous armies from the clues. So you get a short clue and a couple of long clues. You have to figure out three of the most famous armies ever. The answer is the question, Maurice. That is the question. Famous army number one, clue number one, Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan is your famous army number one. Famous army number two for all you historians. Established by Mehmed II, it originated in the 14th century, and this army lasted the whole way through until 1826, is your famous army number two. Established by Mehmed II, originated in the 14th century, and it was abolished only in 1826, so it lasted a very long time, is your famous army number two. To be, or in that question it was 1C or not 1C was the question. But and then your famous army number three, straight out of Pesto. Your famous army number three, first reference was in the Iliad. The centre was a city-state in ancient Greece. It was a land-based force. It did have some naval expertise, but not very much, and it lasted from 743 BC until 195 BC, is your famous army number three. First reference would have been in the Iliad. The centre was a city-state in ancient Greece, and this land-based force ranged from 743 BC until 195 BC, is your third famous army. We've got over the capital of Hungary. I haven't. Okay, and your final three in our quiz for Quizzers quiz. Thank you for tuning in. We're rushing it along because we've outstayed our welcome. So your final three, you get animals in brands or logos. So you get the animal that appears in the brand or the logo, and you get a very succinct, brief description of the company. And what we're after is the company associated with the animal in the brand. You think I could do something straightforward, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? But then it would be boring. Animals and brands or logos, number one. I give you a swan, and the description of the company is an Austrian even, that was Dumb and Dumber there, an Austrian producer of crystal. A swan, I'm looking for the company. The description of the company is an Austrian producer of crystal. Is your famous animal in brand logo number one. A swan. The company's an Austrian producer of crystal. Second animal that appears in brands or logos is a peacock. The description of the company is a television and radio network out of New York City. A peacock appears in the logo of which television and radio network out of New York is your animal in brand logo number two. And your final, I should maybe leave that Peacock Television Radio Network with you, headquartered New York, a few moments longer. And your final animal in logo is your crocodile. A crocodile appearing in a French clothing, footwear and sportswear fashion company. I'm looking for that company with a crocodile in the logo. So let's recap on your final round where I made a bit of a dog's dinner of your mashed up cities. But anyway, your largest city in Pakistan with poultry, your largest city in the Nile with Android, capital of Hungary, Italian sauce of basil, and well, sure, if it helped you, that's a good thing. Your three-letter acronyms, your professional ice hockey league in North America, your Western Asian country on the Arabian Peninsula, your third three-letter acronym, your Soviet Union Security Agency from 54 until 91, your famous armies. Army number one, Genghis Khan, quite simply. Number two, the established army by Mehmed II, originated in the 14th century and abolished only in 1826. And then your third army, first reference was in the Iliad. The centre was a city-state in ancient Greece, a land-based force from 743 BC to 195 BC. And your animals and brands. Your swan was your Austrian producer of crystal. Your peacock, a television and radio network headquartered company in New York City. And then your crocodile, which is a French clothing, footwear and sportswear company. We're looking for those companies and or brands. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you tomorrow night. Same place, your place, same time. 9 o'clock GMT, 4 o'clock Eastern Seaboard, and 1 o'clock in San Diego. Your answers to your final round. And we've had a whopping 65 points available. Maybe that's why it's still going at almost a quarter after 10. So your answers were your Karachi chicken, your Cairobot, your Budapesto, but then you knew that, your NHL, your United Arab Emirates, your UAE, your KGB are your three-letter acronyms, your famous armies are your Mongol, Ottoman and Spartan armies. Your logos, we had your Swan Austrian Crystal. There you go. Here's something we prepared earlier because we're professional most of the time. Swarovski, your peacock in your New York City. NBC, well done if you figured out NBC. And did you get, of course you did, your crocodile alligator, I think it's a crocodile, in Lacoste. So let's put up your answers once again because I like to. Out of 65, let me know how well you've got on. Keep those scores flooding in before we switch off on all our channels. Happy birthday, Kathleen. Well done. Tempire Strikes Back. Sandbaggers 65. Kaiser's Crew 64. We need to up the ante tomorrow night. I'll do that. So well done, guys. Thanks for tuning in. The Lennons, good evening. Shamrock Solitude, the Frogs, Lockdown Haircuts. Fantastic, guys. Thank you, Claire, on your congratulations. Jerzo 59, Phoebe 63. Great to see everybody on. Well done, Jerry, on El Paso Duo. Well done, Marty. Well done, Chickpeas, Vanessa, Maxed Out, Cora, Pete. Great to have you. Rusty Nails. Karen, well done. 61. Una, well done on 56. Super scoring. Two of a kind. David, well done on 58. It's the taking part that counts and the banter we have within this group. We're all friends. This is safe and it's good for the head. But you have to look at me. Tomorrow evening, party quiz. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing to YouTube. Donate if you think it's great. And we'll keep doing it. And who knows, we'll get a break. And I'm sure we will. And Paul, well done. And thank you. Thanks, Kieran. Thank you. Thanks, Kieran. You're welcome. And enjoy your weekend. Keep safe. Keep safe. Thanks, Vanessa. And tomorrow evening, we've got from 9 until 10 our party quiz with clips. And then we do fastest finger on our website where you name that artist and we jump into a time capsule of nostalgic music and just relax and forget about this nonsense. So look after yourselves. Bless you all. Take care. Adios. See you soon.